Pronto, Vincenza.
Pronto, Randy, and welcome everyone to our 8th episode of Pronto. I can't believe it's 8, right? But we're so excited to be back here with all of you and all of our listeners for our lifestyle podcast, where we're excited to talk about all of the beautiful things life has to offer, not just fashion, but self-care, our goals and inspiration, favorite memories, just conversations of life. So welcome everyone. And what's new, Randy?
Well, Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes. How was your Thanksgiving?
Wonderful. Coming from an Italian family, we have an Italian Thanksgiving first, and then typical Thanksgiving. I imagine that's the way your family.
Yes, it's funny. We are very Italian, but we've embraced Thanksgiving dinner. We love turkey, green bean casserole, mac and cheese. What am I forgetting? Stuffing, ham, mashed potatoes, gravy. We embrace all of the Thanksgiving and items, the food items, and also the trimmings that go with it. So, but we kind of, add a little Italian to it, a little Italian twist. There might be more like a dish of pasta in there or so, but we really embraced the Thanksgiving cuisine, I would say, during the holidays. We just love it. I mean, and then the best part about Thanksgiving, the leftovers. Right? So
eat
what
all day.
Exactly. What is your favorite Thanksgiving, I guess you would say, meal or food item?
My wife makes a pineapple stuffing.
Ooh.
It's been in my family for years. My mother and her sisters that were Italian.
Pineapple stuffing.
It's really good.
Might have to share the recipe with me. Yeah. That sounds delicious. Have you ever tried, anybody tuning in, if you ever tried a pineapple stuffing, just comment and say that you've tried it or you're interested in the recipe. Maybe be interested in sharing it or giving us some, you don't have to give us all the secrets to it, but maybe the recipe, because I'm always looking for new food items to try or recipes to try. I don't necessarily want to be the one responsible for making it, but I do. My sister and we work really well together. We joke about it all the time. Shout out to Margarita, my little sister. We always say, and we joke, we work well together in the kitchen. We really do. But she is the queen in the kitchen. She really is. I mean,
your sister cooks.
She can. She can bake. She can cook. She can do it all. She really is extremely talented in the kitchen. It's something that I always share with so many people because, at our restaurant at V&M Bistro, she's not in the kitchen cooking, but she can if she had to. Wow. But, she between the both of us, we wear many hats. And, we always joke that my sister could be the one that could handle the kitchen with no problems. And I think it's also because of her confidence. She has that confidence, not just in the front of the house, but in the back of the house. I am very honest. That is not my specialty. However, I make a very good assistant. Very, very good assistant. I don't crack under pressure. So I know that I could handle the heat, as we joke. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about your weekend. So Thanksgiving was great for you. Yes. Did you do anything special over the weekend with the family?
No, my son's moving to New York, East Village, and he was, starting the transition, with his clothes and packing and stuff. So it was kind of sad for us. Leaving, but he's 27 in New York.
Right. Wow. I'm sure it was hard for, to see him leave the nest, but at the same time, I'm sure you're so proud.
Yeah.
Because that's something that, we need to always recognize. Yes. And I speak as if I have children. I don't have children. Okay. I only speak from witnessing so many of my friends and family members that do have children and what they go through and the experience and how hard it is for them to see their children leave the nest, as we say, or go off to college. But it's the best thing you could do, because not the best thing you could do, but the best thing you could do is to cheer them on.
Support.
Exactly. Yeah. Support, because they're growing. To have the courage to leave their home, their comfort zone, is right then, right in that moment. That's takes bravery, takes a lot of courage. Yeah. So to recognize that and support that is so, so important. And I speak as if I have children, but I just know from, witnessing what, well, yes, that's true. I do treat my, all my pageant contestants as if they're, part of the family, but at the same time, just witnessing my parents and how they raised myself and all my siblings and then other close friends of mine that have children. And it's important to support. And I'm sure you did that every step of the way.
I think the hardest thing about being a parent is letting go, right? Like the kids have to make their own decisions, and you have to support even if you don't agree.
Very valuable advice you give to maybe new parents too.
Yeah.
And I'll take that into consideration if I'm ever blessed with children. And I always say that I'm sure I will learn and I will, I will understand. But I'm always open-minded. So I appreciate that advice. And for anybody listening, that it's important to support every step of the way, no matter what, right?
Yeah. Because sometimes what you want for them, they don't want. Right?
Yes, valuable advice again. This whole conversation may be turning a little bit different, right? Talking about parenting. But my mom always says to me, and she always said this to me growing up, there's no book out there that tells you how to be a parent. There's no like cookie cutter way or the dictionary or the how to. There's no set way on how to be a parent. And she always said that to me. And now that I am older, even though I don't have children, I can see what she means by that now that I'm more mature. And you have to navigate parenting the way you see fit that's best for your family and that's best for your children.
Yeah. And you can raise, 3 children the same way, and they all are different.
Very true.
Yeah. So
that happened. I'm one of 4. So my parents all equally love us, all equally gave us the same opportunities. And we're just so different and multi-talented in different ways. Right. So it's just interesting to see that. But you're right. Yeah. You make a valid point. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's talk about what today is. Cyber Monday. Right. So do you like online shopping?
I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
I like to shop.
I know you do. I know you do.
But not online.
Not online. Oh, I'm guilty of it sometimes. And that's because it's just so easy. Right. It's effortless. You just pull out your phone and you can start searching, and then you put things into the cart, and then boom, you're done. Right. You didn't have to leave the comfort of your own home. So it is so convenient, but you're right. There's nothing like going into the store and trying on a piece of clothing or a garment and feeling the material and feeling the garment and making sure that it fits the correct way. And that level of a service that you get from the salesperson, helping you find the right size and giving you that opinion, hey, let's try, this color, and, that experience. You're losing out on that full experience when you do the online shopping. So I guess we say it's like a double-edged sword. You're gaining the convenience, but you're losing out on the full experience.
Yeah. Amazon has done a fabulous job at delivering products. Like sometimes you can order a product and have it 2 hours, right?
Good old Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And we're all guilty of it.
I see the trucks leaving my neighborhood
all the time.
Constant parade.
Well, in honor of Cyber Monday, I know that Curry Hair Skin and Nails is offering 20% off all products on their website. So it's not including gift cards, just the products, and 20% off all products on the Curry Hair Skin and Nails website. So definitely check that out and take advantage of that discounted opportunity, because I'm sure someone out there needs new eye cream, right? Yeah. Or the Italian Kiss lip balm for the cold weather, which we were talking about before we started. I was telling Randy how I love the Italian Kiss lip balm because I think it works so well with my lipstick. Now I'm talking on television all the time, or at the restaurant with customers, or even just during this podcast. And I always feel dehydrated, and you can only drink so much water, but sometimes you just need a little extra moisture. And the Italian Kiss lip balm that you offer through your beauty line, Corello, it just works so well with my lipstick. And I use a matte lipstick. So if anybody who wears lipstick out there will understand what a matte lipstick does to your lips, it dries your lips so quickly. So when I use the Corello Italian Kiss lip balm, I put that on first, and then I put my matte lipstick, and I noticed that the lipstick doesn't roll. It just, I guess you would say, it just blends so perfectly, and it gives me that little extra moisture that I need. So when I'm talking on camera, or I'm talking at the restaurant or here, I don't feel like I have dry lips.
Yeah, we're getting rave reviews on the
Oh, I'm
Italian
sure.
Kiss.
I'm sure. And the packaging is so fun.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the packaging. I think it was on the website. If you go to the homepage of the Curry Hair, Skin and Nails website, you'll see that the packaging is like, it'll show like what it looks like. And I think it's beautiful. Did you design that?
With the help of the marketing company, and they use the I can't remember what it's the dishes from Italy, like the pattern they use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's where the inspiration came from.
Yeah, and a lot of top designers have used it too, like Versace and
Gucci,
so,
just
Gucci.
to name a few.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. And I can see now how the inspiration came to light through the packaging. It really is eye catching, and it's vibrant. And again, I'm saying this from a first impression, but as soon as like you go to the website, you'll see that the Italian Kiss is like on one of the promos, and it's eye catching. So you
Really
nailed it with the packaging with that one. So definitely check out the Italian Kiss. All right. So before we welcome our next guest, we are very excited to have them on today. So even though, can you believe that December is here? Can you believe that? December is here.
I can't believe it's 8 episodes and December is here.
Right. So even though it's the end of November and we are just entering December for the holidays, we are featuring two representatives from the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. We all know that October is usually Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I feel, and this hits home for me, because my mother is a survivor of breast cancer and a fighter. I always like to call them fighters. We never stop fighting. And I feel that breast cancer awareness should be highlighted and celebrated all year long. So that's why we are very, very excited to have our guests. So I'm going to go right ahead and start to introduce them. So the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is a 501c3 that empowers communities by raising awareness of breast health issues by educating the community, providing outreach in underserved communities, connecting survivors to local resources, and enriching the lives of those living with breast cancer while promoting a healthy community. We're very, very excited to welcome not one, but two representatives from the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. We have Mackenzie Blithe, the Public Relations Coordinator, and Rosalia Ramos, the Bilingual Patient Navigator Outreach Specialist and Certified Healthcare Interpreter. Welcome, ladies.
Wow. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Perfect. Rosalia, do you hear us too? Oh, you might have to unmute. Just double check so we can hear you. I know, right? The beauty of live shows, right?
All right.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us on our PRONTO podcast. Again, I don't know if you were able to listen in before we brought you into the podcast that, Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, it hits home for me. But it's also, even though Breast Cancer Awareness Month is usually October, it's something that I needed to make mention that we need to always continue this conversation about breast cancer awareness and celebrate breast cancer awareness throughout the entire year. So thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
And I repeat, since I think I was muted, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. And yes, I was connecting with everything that you were saying before.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we'll start with you, Mackenzie. If you can just go ahead and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so I'm Mackenzie. I'm a public relations coordinator at the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. I've been with the coalition since 2020 in different roles, and I honestly am just so proud of the work that we do. Our entire team is just incredible. It's a great group of strong women that I love working with, and the entire community across Delaware is just so supportive and so willing to get involved in the mission, and it just inspires me every day.
Thank you. That's so true. It is a great group.
Yeah.
Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, wonderful. I call them all superheroes in the office. They're wonderful, wonderful ladies. Rosalia, your turn. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Rosalia Ramos. I'm native from Puerto Rico. I moved to Delaware because my kids and grandkids live here. And they were like, what are you doing there by yourself? So I've been with the coalition for 3.5 years as a patient navigator and outreach specialist. It is a wonderful work that touches my heart because I haven't dealt personally in my family with breast cancer, but I had to deal with other cancers with my mom, my dad, and my sister. And I can see what it does. And I have learned a lot from it and the good parts of it, the growth, the connectiveness that you can do with our ladies, our clients, the patients, and it empowers you to connect and understand what other people go through.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Well, just to kind of go back and, shift gears a little bit and tie in, what is the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition? Obviously, I know, but for our listeners tuning in, let's educate them in its mission. So either Mackenzie or Rosalia, whoever wants to chime in, go for it. Tell us a little bit about what is the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition and its mission.
All right, I'll pitch in. We look forward to empower our community through awareness and education on breast health issues through outreach events such as community health fairs, as well as educational presentations to facilitate early detection and treatment of breast cancer. It's very important to me, like I mentioned before, because I had walked the cancer journey with various family members. And I was there in their diagnosis, treatment, care, and having a loved one diagnosed make the statistics that we hear about brings them close to your turf, to your home, and it becomes personal. So that's, in our mission, we look forward to educate, and that connects with our vision that we want that all women that get diagnosed become a survivor. So we'll walk them from the screening to hopefully not getting diagnosed. And if they do, we don't let go of that hand. We walk them all the way to treatment.
Yes. And that is very true, Randy. I can share with you and of our listeners that they do that. Yeah. What I witness the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition do for my mom, my family friend, multiple individuals. I've witnessed the support. I mean, it is endless and it's so important, so important. And I'm glad that you did mention that, Rosalia. Yeah. Now, I do have to, I'm going to bring Mackenzie into this now. So Mackenzie, why don't you, talk about or go into more detail about the importance of screenings? Because I know Rosalia didn't mention that you do offer that, but let's dive into it even more. What is the importance about screenings and regular screenings?
Absolutely. So 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. And that sounds really scary. But it's real. It's very factual. And the importance of screening is you have to know to be able to put anything into action, to be able to do anything about it. You have to know if you have breast cancer. And it's important to get those regular screenings so that you can catch breast cancer at an early time. Early detection can save lives. And I will turn it back to Rosie to talk about how our Women's Health Screening Team is able to help people facilitate mammograms regardless of financial situations, any obstacles that may be in their way.
All right. If I may, I would like to touch that. Even if every woman would have the discipline to regularly perform self-checkups, it would be with the purpose to know what's normal for each individual in case something palpable should arise. And an advantage of screening is that self-checkups can go deep into tissue or identify manifestations that cell changes can create. So it is stated by the CDC, the Center for CDC, the Center for Diseases, mammograms are the best routine tests used to look for early signs of breast cancer, sometimes up to 3 years before it can be felt or manifest. So one thing that I always like to mention when I'm doing presentations or educational talks is like, don't delay just because you don't have symptoms. Your routine mammogram is important. And I hear that from many of our clients. I'm too busy. I don't want to take a day off from work. I don't have any symptoms, So it's like they push it aside, and that breaks our heart because, we're trying to eradicate that kind of thinking.
Right. And it's important.
So, yes. So we help our patients schedule and obtain their cancer screening and reach diverse populations and increase the percentage of uninsured and underinsured women receiving cancer screening services in Delaware. We get referrals of women who are due for their mammograms through clinics, doctors' offices, medical insurances, through outreach and educational events that we coordinate. So every contact that we make gets a barrier assessment because we're dealing with many barriers that we're trying to also not be in the way. And we inquire if they have a medical insurance, if they have a primary care physician that can receive the result of their mammograms and follow up. We verify the last day of their mammogram to make sure that they're timely, as well as if they have a language barrier or transportation to make it to their appointment, which is very important. So we offer all those services. And like we mentioned before, we offer the interpretation for patients that are not able to communicate on their own.
Right.
When there's a lack of medical insurance, we advise of existing alternatives to cover mammograms cost. We don't want that to be an obstacle or any of our patients to get a bill after a mammogram.
Right.
So there's a program from the state called Screening for Life that covers cancer screenings for people who qualify. So we walk them and advise them how to fill out the application and, make sure that they don't have to pay for that mammogram if they don't have private insurance. So I'm not sure if I'm leaving something out.
No,
I know this by heart.
No, and that was very important information. We do have a question from one of our listeners. The question is, why are communities underserved?
Oh, great question. Sometimes lack of medical insurance, that's one reason. And that's why we step in, letting them know that there's alternatives. Sometimes if they don't qualify for that program that is from the state, we look for alternatives. Some sites allow us to screen free of charge, a small percentage of some people who can qualify that doesn't have the income. Another limitation that we have is that if they don't have the insurance, they think there's no other way of doing it. So they postpone that. And even if they have symptoms, they feel, where am I going to go? I don't have insurance. I don't have a primary care physician. So we step in there and we try to advise them of, for example, there's clinics that work and charge based on their income. So go have your checkup and tell your doctor that you have that symptom and we'll take care of the rest. Just, go to your doctor, have that breast exam, the physical exam, and they'll come out with their script for the mammogram. If not, we'll contact that doctor. Once we know who the doctor is, which we inquire about it, we will contact that doctor for that script and we'll arrange everything. You just have to show up for their appointment.
Right. We have.
I don't know if that covers that question.
No, it does. And the fact that you're encouraging that there's no excuses that the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition can help. So you have the resources, you have the funds, you're there to help. We just need to get the word out. Now, we do have another ways. Yes. And we do have another question that just came in, and we always like to try to answer the questions to our listeners because it's really, really important that we get that out there. So one of our listeners made mention that they had a friend that passed away due to breast cancer. What are some of the symptoms that you could have look for? I mean, maybe you can't get, like you said, you can't get to the screening fast enough, but what are some symptoms that you can look for maybe just at home? I know self-exams are very important. I know that my doctor always encouraged self-examinations, make sure that even though you go for your annual every year, still just make sure you do a self-exam. So what would you recommend, as far as like, what are the symptoms to look for?
That is a great question. And as I'm answering, I would like to encourage people, don't ignore little symptoms. A symptom that doesn't go away, it is a symptom to pay attention, to take to your primary care physician. Like, for example, a discharge. You might not have pain, but you might have a discharge that doesn't go away. If you have a pain that you say, oh, maybe it's due to my menstrual period, and it doesn't go away, go have it checked. It doesn't go away. It didn't go away. It needs to be checked. Any changes on the breast shape, anything that, a dimple that goes, a nipple that changes shape that's why it's important knowing what's normal. Right. When you are doing regular self-examinations. That is not good enough for a diagnosis, but you will know when you feel something different, when it looks different. Please don't ignore it and bring it to your doctor. And I would like to also mention that men do get breast cancer. Don't ignore it. If you feel something, I was at an outreach event, and this young dad with his 2 young daughters came over and said, thank you for the work that you do. Because of awareness, I was showering and I was, applying soap, and he felt something, and he went and had himself checked. And I congratulated him because I told him, you're also giving a good example to your daughters. So we need more awareness. Our daughters and boys need to grow up knowing that this is a part of our body that is very sensitive, very private, and very important to keep it healthy.
Right. And I'm glad you shared that very important part about that men can have breast cancer as well, and that they need to be just as diligent with making sure that they're doing self-checks as well. Because you're right, it may be more embarrassing for a man to admit that. And so for the father to admit that and be the example to his daughters, that was very brave. And I'm glad you shared that story with us. I do have a question about the screenings. When is a good age to start doing mammograms or screenings?
Great question. It is recommended at age 40, and that's also when medical insurance start covering. But even if you're not 40 yet and you identify some symptoms, no matter the age, it has to be examined by the primary care physician. It has to be reported and examined, make an appointment. Because we've had young ladies being diagnosed with breast cancer. As a matter of fact, we have a group that is called Young Survivors in Action. I think we've had people since 28 years old. One of our staff member is a survivor, and I think she got diagnosed when she was 20-something, 28 or something like that.
Wow.
So medical insurances begin covering at 40 as a routine mammogram. But if there is symptoms and you go to your doctor and your doctor determines that you need a mammogram, he'll give you the script and you go have your mammogram and your medical insurance will cover it.
Interesting. And it leads me to, again, another question, because I'm going through it with my mom, who is a breast cancer survivor and fighter. And she's still going through the process. And I know that something that I've learned is that even though someone may be diagnosed with cancer, everyone's journey is so different. so different, like what steps they have to take, what treatments they have to go through. There's no set way. Oh, you have breast cancer. Okay, you will have 5 treatments of chemo and 2 radiation. Nope. It is so different for every individual. So I've obviously been educating myself since my mom's diagnosis, but being that my mom has been diagnosed with breast cancer, what are the chances of her daughters having breast cancer? Because breast cancer doesn't run in our family. So this is new to us. So it's, it obviously raises, a red flag, should we be going for mammograms sooner than 40 years old? Do you suggest, obviously not just for me. I'm sure there's so many others that, didn't know that breast cancer runs in their family. But what about the children, especially the daughters? Should they be going for screenings sooner because of the diagnosis?
That question has like a 2-part answer for me. I would like to say to you that we have different programs for survivors, and one is the peer mentor group that once people get diagnosed, they get matched with somebody within the similar age with a similar diagnosis, so they can exchange experiences and empower each other, because the psychological recovery is also very important.
Yes.
And going to the part of, how about the daughters, the sons of a person who's had breast cancer, it becomes one of your risks. Risk of getting diagnosed of breast cancer is, first of all, being a female. Men do get breast cancer, but we have the higher percentage. And one of the risks is having a close relative, mother, sister, and that has had breast cancer. That doesn't mean that you're going to get it, but you pay attention, and you might want to bring it up in a conversation with your primary care physician. There's other risks, but that extends the conversation, and I want to just address your question.
Right. No, thank you for answering that and touching on that. Randy, I'm sorry I took over this interview. Clearly this one, right. Well, it for me, it hits home, really does, but it's just so important, and this information is so valuable. But did you want to ask any questions? I'm so sorry I took over.
Cancer attacks your body, but it also attacks your image. And as a hairdresser, I can't tell you the number of people that come to me, dear friends or clients, that I had to shave their head. And, that's so sad.
Right.
And because they they're suffering, because, like they're fighting for their lives, and then their image is going too. Right. So we had a young girl that was my assistant, and she got diagnosed in like her early 40s, and it was terrible for seeing her go through this.
Right. And I know that the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition offers support with what you just said, as far as the an individual not only going through the pain, but also I guess you would say their confidence, the visual of what their image. I know that the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition offers support specifically with that. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Right.
We have different programs. We have the bosom body program, and there's other ones that I cannot recall right now, but we offered like prosthesis, like bras, for when you have a partial mastectomy, wigs. We get together, I'm in the survivor team because I'm in the screening team, but the survivor team, we also say we, because we all feel for the same cause, and they get together and they, try to use the scarf to make themselves feel beauty. They get together and do makeovers and stuff like that. We try to empower and work with the self-esteem. And I have spoken, I was in an outreach event, and I spoke to a gentleman that he was traumatized because his wife had to shave his head. And he said to me, "She's beautiful to me anyway. but I feel that I'm looking at another person.
Mm.
So we need to identify that people need support. It's not just the obvious. It's not the physical symptoms, but there's fears. How am I going to move forward? How do I look? And we're lucky that we're in a time where shaving our heads is also an option for people in in fashion.
That's right.
So it's become fashionable,
Right.
and I like to emphasize that,
Right. It's not something to, yes, for a woman to my hair, I take great pride in my hair. And if I, were to ever, have to go through the scenario of shaving my head, I know that we live in a different day and age where you will feel supported from strangers. They won't look at you in a way that would make you feel uncomfortable. And you're right, Rosalie, you say that. And I think I'm so glad that you did say that. We do live in a different day and age, that it's okay that, actually there's a lot of fashion statements where you're shaving your head. So it's not just for sickness or illness or an illness or whatever it may be. So I'm glad that you mentioned that and I'm glad to see that, times have changed in a good way.
Some of our clients have chosen not to wear wigs.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay.
And makeup, and they're great.
And
I find it beautiful.
Confident, right?
The way they carry themselves with such pride. When my sister started losing her hair, that was like 10 or 12 years ago. And she came to me and she said, Rosie, should I go ahead and shave it? And I said, of course, if you feel ready, let's go for it. But my mom was very upset.
Aww.
She couldn't understand. And she kept saying, why is she doing that? Why are you doing that? And then when she shaved her head and she put her lipstick on and her earrings on, it was like, you look very, very beautiful. So we quickly adapted to it. Of course, we know the meaning behind it. Right. But we can carry ourselves still with a lot of pride and knowing that we're beautiful beyond our, physical aspect.
Confidence.
Yes.
If you're confident, you can do anything.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, I do want to mention this. The Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition has a resale shop that supports some of the programs that we did mention. It's called Great Stuff Resale. Wow. So let's talk about that. I've been to the store before, and I've actually partnered with the Great Stuff Resale shop with the restaurant on a couple events, but this was before the pandemic. So let's get updated on it, and then let's talk about where it is. How does this process work? And for those that maybe want to donate or shop.
Absolutely. So I'm actually wearing this blazer is actually from Great Stuff Savvy Resale and Home. So I love the store personally, and I love that I get to work with them. But it is a upscale resale shop located on Silverside Road in Tallyville Shopping Center in Wilmington. And the unique thing about the shop is that everything in the shop is actually donated. So I like to think of it as like a circle of support, because the community is donating the items, the community is shopping, purchasing items, and then the proceeds are going right back into the community through the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. So you're doing something amazing, regardless of whether you're shopping, you're donating, you are supporting the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. And also something that, is talked about a lot is sustainable shopping, eco fashion, that type of thing. And we're proud to be a sustainable shopping option in Delaware. There aren't a whole lot of affordable, sustainable options, and we like to bring that to Delaware. And it's not like a thrift store. It's not things that are used. Sometimes we think that they're not a high quality, but Great Stuff Savvy Resale has incredible high quality brands, designers like Sam Edelman, Chanel, Burberry, very high end items. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind.
Right. And now, is there an option for those that may want to donate to the shop for resale? Do you have that as an option?
Yes. So you can donate anytime during business hours, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4 p.m. And you can just bring your donations. One of our staff members, which are volunteers, are so eager to help. They love helping everybody, whether it's donations or finding the perfect outfit or
Right.
item for your home. But they'll come right out and help you get all your donations right into the store. So you can donate whatever you'd like that is gently used home and clothing items.
Wow.
Gotcha. So clothing items, home items, anything. And obviously, if you're not sure, just bring it on by. And I'm sure one of the volunteers, and this is the key word, they're volunteers at the store. Am I right? Like,
Absolutely.
I always like to share that because we're quick to think that everyone in the, in a storefront is getting paid. No, at the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition resale shop, the Great Stuff resale shop, they're all volunteers. And if I'm correct, Mackenzie, refresh my memory. Don't you have a few ladies that have been volunteering for quite some time at that shop?
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Some of them
right?
have been volunteering since the shop opened. So they've been there for about 10 years or more.
Right.
Wow.
And
Loyal, right?
Yes.
Right. Loyal because they believe in what its purpose and what it does for not just the community, but anybody fighting breast cancer. And that's why, and I've had the opportunity to speak with some of these volunteers. That's how I know that.
But
Yes.
everyone knows somebody that's going through it, right now or, in the past or.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. Very, very true. So there's only one location, correct?
Yes.
Great. Okay, gotcha. There was only one location. I know that through the pandemic, you guys had to shut down, but I'm so happy that you were able to get reopened because it's very, very important. I think it's a big part of funding the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition and helping the community and all of the, the individuals and their families that are fighting and surviving breast cancer. So we need to touch on, because I know I'm looking at the time. Clearly we can talk, but this is important. That's why I'm glad we're able to just really dive into all these details about what the organization offers. But I know that you guys have a gala coming up in March for 2023. Am I correct?
Yes. We're very excited about the gala.
All right. Mackenzie, tell us all about it.
It is an 80s themed gala. So it's called the Lights of Life, going back to the 80s gala. It's on March 4th of 2023 at Bally's Dover Casino and Resort. And it's going to be a super fun evening. We're going to have an epic dance party with DJ Sky Brady. There's going to be live and silent auctions, food stations, a survivor showcase, and more. Mm-hmm. And we're really excited to bring back the gala because we haven't been able to host it since 2020. So it's going to be, everybody's ready to come back together. And if you're interested, you can find all the information on the website at dbcc.ejoinme.org/LOL23. But if that's a lot to remember, you can just find it on our social media.
Yes. Right. And you guys are very up to date with your social media. Yeah. So you can just go right all to the social media pages and you would find out all that information about the gala that's being held in March of 2023. And if I'm correct, you said March 4th or 3rd?
March 4th.
March 4th. Did you hear it, everyone? Yeah. March 4th, 2023, the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is throwing an 80s themed party gala. That sounds like fun. Randy, we should go.
Break out your 80s.
Right. We should go. I have to tell, I will tell my sister, I will tell my mom, but I think we should go. So we have to mark our calendars and hopefully.
Yes, we would love to see you there. I would like to add that, like Mackenzie said, it's a long address to remember, but if you just go to our web page, we have a tab there that is our events. So if you don't remember, just go there and find out about all our events. We have Nature with Nature. That is a great program for survivors. That many, many, many programs that provide activities to support the well-being, physical and emotional of our constituents.
Absolutely. Just remember debreastcancer.org.
Got it. Right. Got it. All right. Well, Randy, was there anything else you wanted to ask before we ask the traditional question?
The ladies covered it all.
Right. Yeah. Ladies, so at the end of our podcast, we've been doing this and we kind of dubbed it like a traditional end of the, conversation question, just to kind of, make it fun, right? And it'll be, but obviously to both of you, 2 separate answers. So the question is, if you could chat with anyone from the past or present on a podcast, who would it be and why?
That is a tough question, but a great one. I think of two people right away, so I'll mention both of them because it's kind of for the same reason.
Okay.
So first of all, Rosa Parks, and second of all, Malala Yousafzai. They're both incredibly strong women that stood in the face of danger and decided, I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to just do what society is expecting me to do. I'm going to stand up for what's right. I'm going to stand up for justice. And that is just so inspiring to me. I admire them and, of course, so many strong women that have paved the way for the women of today. And they're just a great inspiration.
Great answer.
Yes. Thank you for that. Rosalia?
Oh, I cannot just think of one. Like Mackenzie said, I love women that have empowered other women through history. I love Ina May Gaskin. She's a pioneer in the area of midwifery. I'm a childbirth educator. I'm also a doula. So that's part of my passion. And she's been one of the first people who put midwifery in the public eye. And also this wonderful wise woman, Maya Angelou.
Yes, Maya Angelou. You were right.
And I have admired how she has turned difficult situations, very challenging, difficult situations in life into wisdom and power. And she has been so selfless and transparent to share it with other people. So people see that there's possibilities, that there's growth. And I would love to be as wise as those women.
Yes, right. And those are, again, great options, great choices. I mean, it could be anyone. We just, we thought, let's dub this a traditional, like, end of the conversation question, just to, it makes you really think out of the box. Think about it. Would you ever think of, I don't know, no one has ever asked me that before, but both of you ladies named not just one each, but two, really, 4 total, obviously, from the both of you together, really incredible individuals. So thank you for that. And again, Mackenzie, Rosalia, thank you so much for joining us on Pronto. We again continue the fight, continue raising awareness for all the women that are surviving and fighting with breast cancer, and even men, and the families. So thank you for your continued support and continuing this conversation and raising awareness for the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition.
Yeah. Maybe next October we'll have you back on.
Yes. Oh, that was great. Yeah. Randy, another great show. Yeah. But this one hit home for me.
Breaking into wellness.
Yeah, this was important. This one, I love the people that we get to meet on all of our podcasts, and I'm always learning something. But you never stop learning about cancer, because the advancement in treatments and the continued support and the continuing of the conversation and raising awareness and raising funds should never ever end. So I'm glad that we were able to give the individuals of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition a platform to speak on. And I hope that whoever is listening has learned something and can help others as well. So really, really empowering conversation today.
These women are dedicated.
Oh, yes.
So it's really
they are
plain to see.
Oh, yes. No, they are. And even, again, Mackenzie, Blithe, wonderful. Rosalia, Ramos, wonderful. But you have to meet the rest of the team. I mean, these women it's a group of strong women that run the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. A shout out to Sue Murray. She's been a big support to me, my mom, my family, my sister. And they all of the ladies, all of the volunteers, but all of the ladies in the office have been such a great support system. You know what I love about all of them? They always check in on you. So once you're a part of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition family, they always check in on you, even if you are blessed with fighting, and I guess you would say fighting back cancer and curing yourself, getting the cure, you would say, or, and healing. they still check in on you because the journey never ends.
And sometimes for the patients, it's never ending.
Yes.
Like a friend of mine that works at the salon, she could, had a reoccurrence.
Right. And you never know.
Yeah,
you
she
never
had to
know.
go through the whole thing again.
Exactly. So again, to everyone listening, check out the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. They are on all social media platforms. I know DE Breast Cancer, at DE Breast Cancer and at DE Breast Cancer Co. to check out and follow. They are always active in the community. They're having events throughout the entire year, not just for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but throughout the entire year. But also make note, mark your calendars for the 80s themed gala held on March 4th in 2023. That should be so much fun. But again, just another great way of raising awareness and raising funds.
Right.
So, well, Randy, I think we're at the end of this podcast, but great conversation. And can you believe that 8 down and moving on to 9, right? Yeah, stay tuned for our 9th episode of Pronto, which you can just follow and we'll, announce the date and who's going to be joining us. But tune in, make sure you follow us. You can go to Curry Hair, Skin and Nails, social media pages, or you could go to our personal social media pages. I'm at Cenza, which is at CENZA, or at Randy Curry, which is the way it, RANDY CURRIE. I memorized that. Can you tell? And we will see everyone soon. So, pronto, Randy.
Pronto, Princessa.